Hello guys, this is Movie Lover and welcome to this Movie Lover world. Today I'll be explaining a drama thriller film Queen of Hearts, so let's get started. We see a lady named Anne at the start of the film, which is the profession of a lawyer. Peter is Anne's husband and they have 2 daughters together. Anne is actually Peter's second wife. Peter's first wife's name is Rebecca, but the two have not yet married and they're both divorced. Peter and Rebecca had a son together. Gustav was his name. Gustav accepts Peter's invitation to stay with him despite the fact that Peter was divorced. Peter, on the other hand, adored his son. Gustav now visits Peter's house where he is greeted by Anne's 2 daughters who present him with a keychain. Gustav has arrived and Peter is overjoyed. Gustav kept his mouth shut because he was enraged inside. He believed his father had abandoned his mother because of Anne, and meets her sister Lena the next day, and he tells her everything she needs to know about Gustav and when she'll be meeting Lena. At home then he notices a keychain on the path and takes the keychain and examines it. As a result she realizes it's the same keychain. Gustav received it from his daughters as a gift after putting that keychain in her purse and returns home. When Anne returns home, Peter and Gustav have a fight. Gustav, on the other hand, disliked being around them, and this was a point of contention between Peter and Gustav. Now Peter is becoming concerned about Gustav as a result and advises him to give Gustav some time to mingle with the rest of the family. And then there's the time when Anne gets home from work, so make sure his house's glass is shattered and it's been taken from the house. When Anne notices this, she is taken aback and has no idea who is responsible for the theft. As a result she reports the theft to the police. When Anne is washing Gustav's clothes a few days later, then he discovers a keychain made out of Gustav's paint. This is the same keychain Anne discovered on her journey, and then shows Gustav the keychain and inquires about the theft. When Gustav returns home, at first no one believed Gustav Anne's words. Gustav, on the other hand, is alarmed when Anne threatens him with the police. He also admits to making mistakes, that he had broken into Anne's home and robbed her now, and has reached an agreement with Gustav that if he stays with his family she will not report his theft to the authorities. Gustav is now gradually attempting to mingle with his family. Peter and Anne are overjoyed to see each other. Gustav returns home with his girlfriend one night. Gustav introduces Anne to his girlfriend. In this scene then they both go upstairs to their respective rooms. Then in their room the two become intimate, and then there's the time when Anne hears their voices. Then she'd become a little agitated and examines her body in the mirror. Later that night Anne and her 2 daughters as well as Gustav go swimming one day. Here all 4 of them can swim, also have a good time. Gustav had gradually gotten closer to everyone, and then everyone began to like him. On the same night a lot happens between Anne and Gustav, and then Anne informs Gustav that he adores his ink. Gustav then creates a tattoo on his hand. Peter throws a small party the next day at his home. Many of his friends have come to see him. Peter is preoccupied with his friends, and on the other hand is bored. Anne would then withdraw to the side and sit alone. Now that Gustav has seen her alone, he comes to her. Then they both leave. Then everyone goes outside to drink and smoke. Only then does Anne kiss Gustav in a matter of words. Gustav goes to Anne after the kiss, and from there Anne can't get Gustav out of her head despite the passage of time, and is unable to sleep. One night after that he goes to Gustav's room. Both come close here as well. Then the two become intimate as well. Now Anne and Gustav were close friends, and they were frequently intimate. Here Peter had the impression that Gustav was mingling with the family, and he was ecstatic about it as well. Gustav asks Anne some personal questions. At one point, in addition, it is recorded in a recorder her daughter's birthday party is currently taking place in Anne's home. Then Gustav notices Anne alone and begins kissing her, but Anne's sister Lena is the first to notice them kissing, and is taken aback when she sees Lena, and he starts to worry that Lena will tell everyone about it, so she leaves the party without saying anything in the party and lives in tension, and then she begins to ignore Gustav. Gustav is not pleased with Anne's behavior. Gustav then climbs a large tree during the party. Then everyone tells him to get down, but Gustav manages to fall out of the tree, and everyone in the room is terrified. When Peter arrives at Gustav's house, Gustav then bursts out laughing and tells everyone that it was all a joke. Peter to tell him the truth. As a result, she visits Lena's home and informs Lena that she and Gustav have broken up and don't mention these two to Peter. Lena on the other hand is furious with Anne and tells her to leave. Now Anne was even more terrified and she was constantly worried that Lena would tell Peter the truth. Days passed, but Anne's fear persisted. Then Peter and Gustav return home from their camping trip. That night Peter has a conversation with Anne and he informs her that he is aware of Gustav's affair. Actually it was Gustav who told Peter this during the camping trip, not Lena. When Anne finds out that Gustav told Peter about the affair, she is furious. Then she informs Peter that Gustav is deceiving him and Gustav wants to divorce them both. As a result, Peter returns to his mother Rebecca. Peter was baffled at this point. That's correct, and here's what's wrong, and it makes Anne angry that Peter does not believe what he says, and also makes the decision to leave the house, and also informs Peter of this. That time when his house was broken into, the theft on the other hand was not committed by anyone other than Gustav himself. Knowing this now makes Peter change his mind and he truly believes it. Gustav meets Anne one day and he tells Anne about it, that if she doesn't tell Peter the whole truth he will file a sexual abuse lawsuit against her, and informs Gustav after hearing this he'd never be able to prove his point, and was also an excellent lawyer. Gustav is in a bad mood as a result of all of this. Home, leaving Gustav in this state. Many days go by and also throws her own, because it was the last time he saw Gustav on Christmas Eve. Gustav's whereabouts are now being investigated by the police. Anne's anxiety rises even higher as a result of this. Then one night Peter returns home, so he's in a lot of pain, and when Anne inquires what's the matter after that, Peter informs Anne Gustav's body has been discovered by the police. Gustav is no longer a part of this world. Gustav actually visited that location on Christmas Eve. Where did Peter and he go? Camping. Gustav has been waiting for Peter for about 2 months so that when Peter arrives he can speak with him. However, in that camping location there is a lot of snowfall. Gustav then succumbs to the cold. Knowing this, and along with Peter begins to cry, because she was well aware that she was the sole cause of Gustav's death. And what happens when Peter cries? Then Anne makes an attempt to empathize with him. However, Peter becomes enraged. He then presses his hand against Anne's mouth and tells her to remain calm. Peter was furious with Anne because of this, because she kept Gustav away from himself at Anne's request. Following that, and Peter and her 2 daughters get ready to attend Gustav's funeral. And with that the film comes to a close. I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. Movie Lover will meet you again with new story. Till take care.